Who are you?
Whoever you want me to be.
Don't say I never gave you anything.
It's feeling epic.
3 words. 8 letters.
I remember everything.
Hello, and welcome back to another very special episode of Previously on Teen TV. I'm your host, teen drama fangirl, Jillian Banani, and with me is the reluctant The Summer I Turned Pretty watcher turned super fan. It's my husband, Tyler Branch.
Super fan. Thanks for having me, Jillian. What an episode. That was fun.
What an episode. The biggest episode of the season so far.
I miss you. How was your flight out west? Jillian's in LA.
As people can see, I am not where I typically am. I'm in LA for a little summer vacation, but the Summer I Turned Pretty doesn't stop. So I had to watch this episode on a plane this morning. And let me tell you, when we got to the Peaches scene, it was a little awkward. I was like holding my phone like as close as I could to me. I feel like people were just like, what is going on there? A lot of
I bet you were squealing.
Oh, yeah. And I was also like, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. There was like a young girl sitting next to me, and I really wanted to be like, do you watch? But she was asleep.
You know, when this episode started, and he's like a handyman with his shirt off, and she's a girl by the pool, I was like, I feel like this is like a setup to like an erotic movie. And then by the time we got to the Peaches, I was like, is this an erotic movie? Like, what am I watching right now?
And then we even got quite a steamy scene at the end of the episode, too. This was probably like the steamiest episode we've ever had of The Summer I Turned Pretty.
They really took it to 11 on the chemistry and hotness of Belly and Conrad.
I don't think we've ever really even had Conrad with like his shirt off like that. And it was off in multiple points of this episode.
It really was turning up the like sex appeal, which they never really had done with these two. Like they always had this lifelong connection and like longing and stuff like that. But then this was like, but it was like a little bit, you got to see when she was with Jeremiah, like especially like season 2 of them having like fun and chemistry and stuff. And a lot of that was kind of skipped for us with Conrad because it was dealing with his mom and you're seeing their breakup and all that. It was kind of yada yada some of their like good times together. And boy, did they have some good times together in this ep.
Well, and I'm glad we got to see that though, because I do feel like with Belly and Conrad, we have seen a lot of more awkward scenes. Like we saw a lot of them first coming together or Belly really liking Conrad and him being kind of moody. So it was nice to really just see the chemistry between the two of them and why we think they're a great pair. And I gotta say, definitely think they're a great pair now.
I mean, Wild Horses couldn't drag this man away from her. Oh my gosh. When Wild Horses came on, I was like, what is happening? I was like, is this episode made for me? The soundtrack in this app was honestly, I really feel like Jenny Han, like, which was so funny at the end of the ep, you see like the first 5 credits are just like lines of just Jenny Han directed, Jenny Han wrote, Jenny Han produced, Jenny Han created. And she really nailed it with this episode because I feel like she changed the soundtrack vibes a little bit for this show where like, I think like a young woman who's like going through like an angsty longing period is listening to like Taylor Swift, like what a lot of the tracks of this show have been. But I think like this kind of switched into boy soundtrack mode in this. And I feel like a lot of guys, if they're in that kind of mode, gravitate towards older music a lot of times, like some classic rock or soul or something. I was like, Rolling Stones, Van Morrison, like Otis Redding. I was like, this is like my college playlist.
Okay, I was dying because we were watching it separately, and I was just thinking, Tyler is going to die at the music in this episode.
I died.
It really was like meant for you.
This was the first one we didn't watch together, and oh my gosh, imagine my face when Van Morrison came on. I was like, this is crazy. This is so good. I mean, if you would have had me bet that a Rolling Stones song would be the steamiest scene of this show, I would have just been like, no way, that ain't this show. But she made it work with Wild Horses.
And we got another Fleetwood Mac song, Songbird. And I feel like she's really saving Fleetwood Mac for the Conrad Belly scenes.
Absolutely, because it's that friends to lovers to enemies kind of thing. All the songs were like that. The I Want You Back, the Jackson 5, I was like,
so good.
She's like hitting you over the head with it of like, he wants her back. He regrets these mistakes that have been made.
I mean, how much do you think they spent on music for this episode?
Oh my God.
Like,
honestly, I don't know. Because like they had 2 Otis Redding songs. They had a Van Morrison, they had a Chuck Berry song, they had a Rolling Stones, a Fleetwood Mac. Like this could have been like approaching like over $500,000, maybe $1 million. I don't know.
I was gonna guess $500,000, like at least.
Yeah, I mean it might be more than that. Like these are not like cheap songs to get because they're not covers of them. Like you and I, I always make fun sometimes of when you're watching teen shows, it'll cut to like a cover of a song and it'll be like a slowed down. Like I'm surprised it wasn't like some, artist you've never heard of with the guitar being like,
right.
Wild horses. Like, but this show has the budget. They go for it.
And no expense was spared for Connie Baby's POV app. I mean, they put it all in it. They were like, we're finally giving you guys a glimpse into Conrad Fisher. So no, we're putting all our money in it.
Jillian, you were looking forward to this app so much. Did it give you what you wanted? Did you learn about Conrad? Did you?
I mean, we've been looking forward to this app for years.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like even in season 2, I was like, I just want to get in this guy's mind.
You fangirls worked yourselves up into a frenzy this week, saying it was going to be a feature length. You were going crazy.
Everyone thought it was going to be a 90-minute episode, which really kind of would have been crazy. But it was over an hour, which I liked. I feel like, though, it was a little bit different than what I had thought. I said this on last week's app. I thought we were going to be like going through some past scenes and getting Conrad's like POV on those scenes. Similar to what we did with Jeremiah last season.
Sure.
But it was a little bit different than what I thought. I feel like it was a lot more in the moment. Like we got his reactions to what was happening then. And what was going on in his head during the scenes that were happening for the most part. And then we did get some flashbacks and whatnot, but everything was more new information than what I thought, which I thought was really smart. We didn't like go back to a scene that we'd already seen and get his reaction on it.
I mean, I'm sure a fangirl like you would have loved to like geek out and time travel back through all these scenes and see them through Conrad's perspective. But I enjoyed what this up was a lot more of really going for like, it's not about the details as much as like, here's his point of view on why he's so in love with Belly. And like, that did kind of need to be answered of this guy's pining. Like, I know that like, that's the show we're watching, but like, you do at some point need to really see like, why is this guy still so in love with her 4 years later? And like, their chemistry was just popping in this. I mean, it was fun to see these two getting along because it was just, I don't know. There were parts of this where, you felt like you were in a Taylor Swift music video. I kind of kept thinking Style was going to come on, of like, because he kind of had that James Dean look when he's like with the white t-shirt.
With that white shirt, yeah. Oh my God, I loved it. The outfit was like perfect. I was like, he's bringing out all the stops, helping her do this wedding planning in this white t-shirt. His hair was looking good. He had that tan. It was... I mean, we've waited for this for so long. And I think a lot of the reason is it's a big part of the book. It's a big part of the third book. And the first 2 seasons, we got more broken Conrad. We didn't really see his real personality in those first 2 seasons. In season 1, he was the only one who knew the secret about his mom, so he was dealing with that. And then in season 2, he's dealing with his mom's death and the breakup with Belly and just like everything going south. So we've seen much more of like a moody, like broken Conrad. And I feel like everyone throughout those seasons was like, oh, this isn't the real Conrad. This isn't the real Conrad. And then we finally got it, I feel like, this app. And even though he is like upset, like in this episode, we got to see him more like in his element. And it's basically over an hour of him yearning for this girl. And what more could you want, you know? That's what we want to watch. We want to watch a man yearn for the girl, and we got that in this app.
Yeah. You and I both got what we wanted. You got the Conrad yearning coming together, and I got some great music and beautiful shots that I loved. I was like, this is great. I was like, I think it really is like one of the best episodes they've ever done.
Well, Jenny Han really killed the directing of this episode, for sure. It was the first episode she's ever directed. Like, that's pretty amazing.
It was great. I mean, it had everything. You got slow-mo Conrad. You got, like, just all the flashback shots she does, where it's like someone's sitting down a glass, that it's, like, picking up a glass in the flashback, like how she switches between stuff like that. I thought it was great. We
even got young Conrad and Belly. Like, there was
I thought those child actors looked pretty much like them.
I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, great job casting. Yeah, we learned a lot about Conrad in this app. So I've made a list. We do a top 5 every episode. So for this app, we have to do top 5 things we learned about Conrad in his POV episode.
This is
top
exciting.
Top 5 things we learned.
You were so excited to learn Conrad's point of view. What you got?
We just want to learn more about Connie Baby, you know? All right, number 5. He can fix a roof. We opened the app with this huge shocker, him shirtless, fixing a roof. That was surprising to me. I did not realize that he was so handy.
Handyman Connie Baby. Who would have thought?
I wouldn't have guessed it. I did like that they explained it, where Belly was like, well, you always like to take things apart and put them back together. Because I was like, how did this man learn how to fix a roof?
He was so humble about it, too. He was like, probably making it worse, you know. He's just up there. He's got 2 hammers just going to town.
He's his aggression.
He also is just trying to stay as far away from Belly as he can, where he's like, she won't come up here on the roof after me. This guy's going through it living in this house with Belly. And she's out there just swimming and like, oh my God. He's
having a grand old time while this man is hammering on a hot roof on a hot summer day, shirt off.
He's taking his sexual tension out on those nails.
I feel like there are a lot of references too to The Notebook with that, which you have not seen.
You have to show me that one day.
But Noah, he like builds a house. And he's very handy. And I wasn't believing all the Notebook references before. A lot of people have made references to the Notebook and The Summer I Turned Pretty. And I was always kind of like, guys, they're just both kind of like romance things. But this one, I was like, okay, I see it. I get it. All right, coming in at number 4 for top things we learned about Conrad and his POV app. Number 4. He was a child stamp collector and just overall nerd. I mean, he knows too much about stamps.
He knew. I did not know the answer to her question when she was talking about that.
And we put out wedding invitations.
He knew everything about that. I was like, was I supposed to do that with our wedding invitations? I didn't know that.
That was my number 1 question, too. I thought, did we do this wrong? I really wish that this would have come out before we sent out our wedding
If only one of us collected stamps.
I know. The way he knew everything about stamps and just overall in that scene, like we learned about him being a moderator on a Lord of the Rings
He was
board.
a moderator on a Lord of the Rings subreddit. I feel like you were sane. Weren't you on subreddits or message boards?
You know, let's not get into that. Yeah, I do have a past in middle school of being on One Tree Hill forums. Anyways, but I feel like it's nice to kind of see this more like nerdy side to him, because I feel like people always compared him to like, oh, he's the bad boy, da 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 da. And it's like, no, he is a nerd who was like good at football, even though he didn't like it. But his true aura is nerd.
It's true. It does feel like they tried to make him into this jock guy, but that like he revolted against. Like, he didn't want to be that. I mean, this fits in kind of with what I was saying of he's like an old soul. He's, loves crosswords. He's baking. He's just got this old man's. The man's going to get back into collecting stamps any day now.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
He deserves that. All right. Number 3 for top things we learned about Conrad and his POV app. He is a clean freak, which we already knew, but he is willing to get messy for Belly. We all saw him use that shirt to wipe off that peach water on her face. And I was like, he's using his own shirt?
What was going on
that.
there? I have never seen anyone do something like that. But I mean, it worked. But I was like, "What is happening right now? Is this in reality? That he's just pulling his shirt up and doing this? I mean,
I don't think Conrad knew what was going on either.
He really wiped her mouth. I mean, he was up there for a while. He was wiping her chin. It was the whole thing. I was like, is something happening right here? What's going on?
I mean, it was like the most sensual thing I've seen in a while. And it's like so simple, but like the way they did it, it's like I'm literally getting like clammy just even thinking about it, like in a good way. But
I know.
It was very like, whoa.
It was, because he took charge in that moment and she just kind of like let it happen right there. There was like, there's something, these two. It's like anybody who just happened to be there at the peach farm that day could look at those two and know they've had sex.
I know. Did anybody drive by and were they like, what's going on over there?
What's that scene about right now? Those two look like they're about to throw down in the farm.
I know. Little do they know that that's her soon-to-be brother-in-law.
Yeah, no, he's the best man.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a highlight. That is directly from the book, too. And
that he's a clean freak? Or you're talking about...
the peach scene. That he's a clean freak.
I was like, really?
Oh, my God. That's so funny. But my first thought during the peach scene, other than, whoa, oh, my God, like, I can't believe I'm watching this. Like, it feels like too intimate to watch. My other thought was, I can't believe this clean freak is using his shirt to do it. Like, she might have makeup on. Who knows what's coming off on that shirt? So he always bends for Belly.
Well, he likes to clean up after Belly. He, throughout this episode, is there to help her and to clean up her mistakes. And I was wondering, like, was she trying to rationalize later when she's like, I spilled the wine and you're not cleaning it up? Of like, I was wondering if that was her trying to rationalize of like, oh, he was just cleaning my mouth because he's such a clean freak. Even though, come on.
I don't think she was
happening.
I don't think she was thinking about it in that way.
Okay.
I think she's trying to forget what happened at
that peach farm.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that peach farm. I've never seen anything like that before.
I guarantee you I will watch that scene like 100 times in this lifetime.
I
have
never seen such a metaphor for sex happen as her eating that peach. I was like, what am I watching right now?
Oh, my God. Ugh. But that is a good point. And that goes into like Connie's hero complex too, of that he's always kind of like cleaning up after Belly. He always wants to be the hero for her, which was really something that came up a lot in this episode.
It was great when she caught him out on that, because that's true. I mean, he is like trying to be an oncologist because his mom died of cancer. Like, he wants to fix things in the world. Anyway, continue what you learned about Conrad, about Connie Baby.
All right, number 2. These ones are getting more serious now. Number 2, he's haunted by his past mistake of not telling Belly the truth. So we finally have the truth around that. He regrets what he said in that motel, that he didn't mean what he said. He wishes he could go back and change things and tell her how he really felt.
Because you're right, at this point, she believes him. Because she's been with Jeremiah, and she's just, I don't know. It's very sad to be like, something that now has been in her mind for over 4 years. Like, it's just so like, no, this is my relationship with this person now. And it's just so hard to break through that when he put that out there.
I know. Because even in that moment when he told her that he lied and that, you know, she doesn't mean anything to him, we have her narration of saying, I evict you from my heart, Conrad Fisher. And I feel like that is still where she is at. She evicted him from her heart and has not thought about him in that way. It seems. I mean,
let's circle back to Belly. We'll put a pin in Belly. We're coming back to Belly. Finish up what you've learned about Conrad, because I think you're right. And I think he was trying. It's like him like confessing his sins by then telling her the truth about getting fired, because he's like, now I'm just going to try to start being honest with Belly.
It was really nice to see that scene where he is finally being honest about something. And I feel like she really like appreciated his honesty for once, because rarely has she gotten that from him. So when he told her the truth about the job, I feel like I just like breathed a sigh of relief. Like, finally, we got this guy telling her the truth. He has not for these past couple seasons. So,
and he can stop putting up appearances. He can be himself more now.
Yeah. And I love that scene between the two of them. It was so honest. You really saw their connection of talking about their futures and what they want out of life. Like, I really feel like they share that bond together. All right. Are you ready? Number one.
The number one thing you learned about Conrad. Which, be honest, you'd read a whole biography of this guy. You want to learn all you can about Connie
I want to
Baby.
be clear. Like, I really had to shorten this list, okay? It was very hard to make it to 5, and we need some honorable mentions as well.
What's number one?
Number one thing we learned about Connie Baby in his POV app, he promised Susanna he'd look after Jer. That was a big bombshell this episode. We had not heard that before, and it all makes a lot more sense now of why he did what he did. Because if you promise your mom, who is on her deathbed, that you're going to do something, you got to follow through with it.
I get that, but I don't know.
He feels that way.
I think he's taking that a little too literally, because I don't think this is what she meant. I think she was just like, I don't know, Jeremiah's kind of, he's going to get involved in like securities fraud or something, like keep him like out of trouble. Like, I think she's just like, he's just a wacky guy who does things impulsively, like make sure he doesn't get in too much trouble. I don't think she's asking you to sacrifice your love for Belly for him, but I get he's so locked in to trying to protect Jeremiah, which is tough.
He takes everything so seriously.
He does.
So when Susanna says that, he is going to take that to heart, and he is not going to mess that up. He doesn't want to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And he wants to do what his mom asked him to do. I mean, that scene was so heartbreaking. And just, I mean, that was a big reveal. I just felt like it really revealed a lot of his motivation for everything.
Yeah. I mean, it weighs on him. I mean, he said that, like, promises you make, like, as someone's, like, dying wish or titanium, that, like, they can't be broken. That, like, he kind of, it does show that he doesn't even view a possibility of a world where, like, he can fix this, which is really tough. What he's going through then with Belly, of like not even coming clean to her or trying because you want to protect your brother so much.
I feel like too, he's like, well, I've already made mistakes with Belly. I've made a bunch of mistakes already, so I just gotta walk away from this. Like, he feels like he doesn't deserve her either. And I think that's a little bit a part of this. Like, just with everything we learned in this episode of, like, the hero complex, him not wanting to admit when he makes a mistake, and he thinks, oh, if I get fired, then maybe I'm not meant to be doing this thing. Like, he takes everything very seriously and very much to heart. So I feel like a little bit of his decision of feeling like he doesn't deserve Belly. of I already broke her heart. I messed up at prom. I did this to her. Like, I just need to like walk away from this situation because I've already messed it up and I can't go back.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jeremiah gets to just la 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 living his life. He's making mistakes left and right. This guy.
I know.
But
do you
like,
think though that's why he was fixing the roof, because he can't fix anything else?
Yeah,
he
that's
can't
a good
fix
point.
what he wants to fix, so he's fixing the roof.
Yeah, that's true. Also, guys just love an errand while they're at the beach.
Oh my God, no,
just,
you do.
Yeah, you know. I'm
Read
like,
a
I gotta
book.
go. Let me go to Lowe's. Let me go work
Yeah.
on something. Let me run an errand.
Connie's been running a lot of errands this episode.
I don't need to sit at the beach house.
That's what you do at the beach. Let's get into Jeremiah a little bit. I did enjoy Jeremiah's storyline this episode. And because I think it's interesting because his storyline really did not have like that much to do with Belly.
It was funny because it started of just classic screw up Jeremiah, where he thought that his dad wasn't coming in, so he didn't need to show up at work, and like screwed up this whole plan with Taylor to go to Cousins Beach. And then it turned into him just staying there and like missing this whole day with Belly. And it's just so sad how much he wants Adam Fisher's approval. He just wants it so desperately for his dad. And it's so interesting because Conrad doesn't care at all. He's like on the phone. There's that. Did you catch that line of Adam Fisher said when he was like, if you go against them getting married, you'll lose them. And he said, like, I lost you. And like, he kind of just doesn't respond. It's like, I got to go. Like,
he was like, here he goes again. Like, just let it be.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. I do not view Jeremiah as the villain of this season. I view Adam Fisher as the villain of this season because I feel like so much of Jer's motivation this entire season is because of his dad and him wanting to get his approval so bad. It's like so sad. Like, stop trying to get the approval of this guy who sucks. Like, this is not what you should be going after. But I get it. He's wanted it so bad his whole life. Yeah. And now he's getting little pieces of it and he's loving it.
Oh my God. Well, I think I said last week, I do think Jeremiah is the villain of the story in this season for sure. But like, I don't think everything he does is like him trying to be like, I don't think it's coming from a bad place. I think it's coming from a very insecure place of like, he's like, I want Belly because my mom like adored Belly in a way. And I think he just wants his dad's respect because his dad's always respected Conrad, not him. So he's there working late, trying to find anything he can. And like, but I do want to say to Jeremiah if you're impressing Adam Fisher, I don't know if that's the man you want to be.
I know.
I don't think that's the guy Belly wants to be with. Adam Fisher, who like cheated on his wife while she had cancer and seemed to not really like have a good relationship with these boys growing up and only cared about his work. Like, is that what you want to be, Jeremiah?
If Adam Fisher is giving you a compliment, something is wrong. Like, do the opposite almost. Like,
yeah, he's like,
something has gone terribly wrong.
You blew off your fiance in wedding planning to sit here with me on something that could have waited till Monday. I respect you now.
Yeah, good job, son. You don't need to be involved in that wedding planning. Do you think, though, with Jeremiah, do you think that he is trying to get his dad's approval more now because his mom is gone? And I'm getting the vibe, and I feel like we learned more about this in this episode, that Jeremiah was closer with Susanna.
Yeah.
It seemed. Because when Conrad goes to visit her on the deathbed, he keeps saying, you know, she asked about Jeremiah, and Conrad's like, I can go get him. He just like ran out to get food real quick. And he keeps saying he can bring Jer. And I know in season 2, we did see a lot of like Jeremiah there with Susanna, making her smoothies, taking care of bills, like doing all this stuff for her. So I feel like it seems to me that Susanna and Jeremiah were very close, especially towards the end, which makes sense because Conrad also runs from these situations, as we've seen. And to be fair, he was starting out in college. I think that is a tough time.
Definitely.
To be like, you just can't be there all the time as you probably want to be. But he also runs away.
Yeah, but I could see Jeremiah being like the youngest mama's boy. You know, I mean, she said like, yeah, he's cute and knows it and loves to be silly. But she's like, she worried about him clearly. And like, rightfully so. I got to say, a few things we found out in this episode was Jeremiah's the kind of guy who misses flights, who's late for a flight. He said that in this. He's like, oh, I don't go till like last minute. And then he suggested they just run up a bunch of credit card debt. And he was like, whatever, who cares? And I was like, wow, Jeremiah is a guy who's like, just swipe a credit card. We'll pay it one day, whatever. So, like, I get people's concerns about this cake. And then the guy is obsessed about a $750 cake. Where did he even learn the word cacao or whatever? I didn't even know what that was. He's obsessed with cacao.
Network, and I was like, I don't even really know what that means. I was confused by that.
He's obsessed with 80% cacao, like cocoa seeds.
Who knew Jeremiah was such a cake guy? I was like, I don't believe that Jeremiah is like eating cake every weekend.
What a specific request for a cake.
Very specific.
But the man wants his cake, and he wants that mirror glaze. He wants the mirror glaze.
I'm sorry. As somebody, we've planned a wedding before. I think the cake was the lowest on our list. And I want to be clear. We got our wedding cake from Publix, okay?
Oh, yeah. We didn't care.
We did like what they said
what they're
not
making
to
fun
do.
of. Yeah. We're like,
I just feel like if you don't really have money for a wedding, like the cake is not what you should obsess over. But I guess this is just what Jeremiah
We were so not thinking about the cake when the photographer came to take our photo. We put the cake in our own mouths instead of each other's. Because we'd never put any thought into the cake. Not near as much as Jeremiah's put thought into this cake. This is such a... I saw someone commented on your Instagram, they said the guy who gave that ring wants a $750 cake.
Why didn't he put the ring on these credit cards?
Yeah. Well, oh my God. Don't get us going on Jeremiah.
The cake thing was just a little wild. Like, I did laugh at it though. I did think it was like a funny moment, him explaining exactly what cacao was and what the cake needed and all that.
It was funny. I did wonder if a little bit of that is Conrad's POV, like Jeremiah is kind of extra annoying in a way.
That's a good point.
Because it's a little bit from Conrad's perspective. I mean, when Conrad finds out what happened in Cabo, he's gonna blow a gasket. Like, this guy who wants to protect Belly at all costs, who now has become her simp, like while she's marrying his brother, who's just running around town doing everything for her. When he finds out that Jeremiah cheated on her, he's gonna lose his mind.
I know. It's like I am counting down the days till he finds out. Like
he has to find out, right? I mean, I haven't read the books, but like he has. This has to come out. We think he will, right? They wouldn't change that.
He finds out in the book. I'll just say that. I don't even think that's a big spoiler. He finds out in the book, and I don't know. It might be different to the TV show. I feel like that is something that maybe they could just kind of like switch up what happens a little bit. But he'll definitely find out.
It just feels like it's going to come back with a vengeance because we haven't heard anything about it.
No.
We haven't heard anything about Cabo basically in a while. Yeah. And it's this huge lingering thing that even those two haven't really talked about enough. And like, it just feels like we're waiting for an explosion. And oh my gosh, keep Conrad away from his hammers.
Oh my God. He's going to build a house when he finds out.
He's going to redo the whole roof. That dude is going to be up there. He's going to have stripped all the shingles. He's going to be a whole new roof we're putting on.
Oh my God.
We're taking down the gutters. I'll be up here for months.
There's going to be a whole new beach house.
I thought it was really weird when he did get Adam Fisher's blessing, which Laurel, I feel like, is going to hate that Adam Fisher went behind her back and is supporting this wedding now without talking to her first. But I don't think Adam Fisher respects women, so I don't think he cares. But
and not only is he supporting it, he's paying for it now. He's planning the wedding.
What a position to put Laurel in, too. How's she going to feel about, without any conversation about this, of her being like the mother of the bride, that Adam Fisher has just taken over this wedding? Like, who she clearly already, these two don't get along. It's the same thing of him taking the toast from her. He just like comes in and does whatever he wants and will just run all over. I thought it was weird, though, that Jeremiah didn't call Belly to tell her about Adam Fisher saying he was like endorsing their marriage and gonna pay for the wedding, because it just seemed like that's a noteworthy thing you need to talk about. But I guess he was dreading it. I guess he knew she wasn't gonna be happy about this.
And then he told her like pretty quickly, you know, it wasn't really like, it was like, oh, by the way, we got my dad's support.
I mean, he turned on.
We're going to do it at the club now.
He turned on the puppy dog eyes when he had to tell her that, like, oh, we're going to do it at the club and it's going to be like a bunch of business associates. It's going to be nice. I thought you'd be happy. Like, and it's like,
that's what business people do.
You manipulating son of a gun.
That's what business people do. They have to invite clients and associates. Like,
how quickly we go from
like
super senior to business people. This guy reminds me of Kendall Roy. There's a Shiv Roy reference in this, and I was like, this guy's turning into Kendall Roy.
I like that Shiv Roy reference because I was like, we compare this to Succession sometimes.
I do.
I like that. I will say, though, I did enjoy having Jeremiah have a win with his dad. Like, Belly, like, not taking Belly and everything he's done with her, like, outside of it. It was nice to see the guy, like, have a win. Like, he was so happy.
Sure.
And it was nice to see him, like, do something right, too. Like, we haven't gotten much of that this season. It was nice to see him succeed, have success in something.
Well, like I said, I don't think all these things that I think Jeremiah has done that I think are villainous, I don't necessarily think it's from a bad place all the time. I really do think he's a very insecure guy. I think that's even maybe where the cheating came from. I think it's where this stuff with his dad comes from. But there was some, like, fun stuff with Jeremiah in this. I will say I liked him picking up on Steven and Denise's tension, and I was like, this is a glimpse of sometimes when, like, I like Jeremiah more, like pre this season, of where he's like a social guy. He's got a social IQ. He's like, you two like each other, like you two are like got a thing going, and like, I don't know, he's dancing at the end. When you see him dancing, you're like, this guy's got some charm to him. Like, but gosh, he has just been irritating the last few weeks.
I mean, I would love to gossip and have a drink with Jeremiah. Like, that would be a fun time, for sure. But just the way he's, like, treating Belly lately has just been so difficult. Like,
she was such an afterthought this episode to him.
She was such an afterthought. And then the way, too, when he broke the news about the club to her and was like, well, we don't have to do it if you don't want to. And it just the way he said it, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, it's just, like, sad to see, because you just see Belly, like, working so hard to plan this wedding and to make it affordable. And then he just, like, comes in and stomps on everything.
Mm-hmm. It was tough also after seeing Conrad and Belly go to Michael's and then cook dinner and then having, like, I don't know, it really was a glimpse into, like, what their life could have been.
I know. That was when Conrad says the line of, like, would we have had dinners like this all the time? I was like, God, this is heartbreaking. I feel like it made it even more heartbreaking when we got that pivotal flashback scene. That was, like, truly the most shocking part of the episode for me.
Sexy time?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Was like, I was shocked by that scene of just the fact that I wouldn't have thought that they really would have brought it all back to kind of the physicalness of their relationship. And wow. I mean, I'm glad they did. It was a great scene.
Wow. How many chili peppers was that scene?
I mean, I'd give it at least 3 chili peppers.
Pretty hot. I did think it was very funny when she brought up, because it was clearly on her mind too, of like, those flowers you picked out are the same flowers that were basically in the room that we last like hooked up in.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
like hooked up.
Yeah. Hooked
up. Yeah.
We're talking going all the way.
I think, though, I was shocked by that scene, not because it was like this steamy scene that we were seeing, but because that wasn't that long before prom.
Yeah.
And in my head, I had thought that they were like pretty distant with each other at that point. So then to see this scene where they're being so loving with each other and very physical with each other, I was shocked by that. I thought that Conrad was like so distant at that point.
Made it even tougher that Conrad, how he treated her at prom and pushed her away.
I know.
It makes you realize like what whiplash that was.
I think that's how I felt even just with this flashback. Like that was giving me whiplash of like, how did we get from this to prom like so quickly?
Well, he's laying the groundwork. He is laying the groundwork that he's become a better person. He told her about therapy also. Like, that he's working on all that. And it is like, he clearly needed to. Because when you see that scene and then you think about how he treated her at prom, it's like, man, dude, you had such a good thing going and you just blew it up.
I think that's why that scene was just so like, kind of gut-wrenching. Because it's like, wow, you guys did have this really great thing going on. Like, you were good together. And we saw so many of the bad moments. So it was so nice to get a flashback where they're not being awkward with each other. Like, it's not the first time. They're not kind of like tiptoeing around each other. We saw so much of Belly like tiptoeing around Conrad. So it was so nice to just see them really comfortable around each other. But then you're like, oh my God, like this fell apart real bad, real quickly.
It was jarring because it made you realize that Conrad and Belly were like, they were like a pretty serious item. Like, you know, like it made me realize how even crazier it is that Belly's been with these two brothers. Because it's not like she had a drunken hookup with one brother and like is marrying the other. It's like she had like a long, passionate relationship with the other brother. It's so wild to think about of just how crazy this is. Once again, finally, another character that was being very normal when Taylor was like, so how is it with Conrad at that house that you're staying in that you're not even mentioning and acting how bizarre this is that you two used to like be like an item and like, I don't know. It's just crazy. What a situation they're in.
I think what's crazy about it, though, is the timeline. It's not like she got with Jeremiah a year later. Like, we're talking like a couple months later. So that's why it's so wild to think. And in my head, I was like, well, her and Conrad, I feel like weren't doing well for a few months before. And then we get this scene and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
They were pretty good.
Yeah. It was hot. They had a thing. And you can see, you have such chemistry with someone to be able to pick it right back up the way they did by just spending the day together. That, like, if you can pick your chemistry back up by shopping at Michael's, you got some chemistry. You got something going on right there.
Well, I always say running errands with somebody is one of the most intimate things you can do.
Really?
I think it really changes things. Yes.
Wow.
Like, not to get too personal, but like, I feel like one time we went to the Verizon store together, like before we were dating. And I was like, oh my God, should we be a thing?
Wow. Look at me being a little Connie Baby helping you out with your problems.
At the Verizon store.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know it was so intimate. When you get back from California, I'll take you to Home Goods.
No, well, don't get too crazy. So, yeah, I think that there is just something like kind of intimate and personal about that and like doing a chore together. I I mean, it was just very clear. Like, Conrad will do anything for this girl.
He's a
including
simp for Belly.
picking out fake flowers. I was like, guys, please, we got to do something else in these fake flowers.
I think I might have suggested that at our wedding, Matt, when we were in the planning stages of should we do some fake flowers? And I think you looked truly horrified at me.
I was like, you're no longer involved in this planning process.
Well, we don't know things. I'm sorry. I don't know about flowers. I don't know about cacao. I didn't know about either of those things. I didn't know about the stamps. I wasn't as prepared as the Fisher boys to get married.
You did learn about stamps, though. Good for you. Do you think, though? All right, we got to talk about Belly.
Talk
a
about
little
Belly.
bit.
I was about to say.
We got to talk about Belly.
We got to dig into her.
Do you think she's feeling anything for Conrad? We haven't gotten her point of view of this situation, really. She seems to just be like, yeah, I haven't seen much of Conrad. No, everything's fine. She keeps calling him her future brother-in-law.
She is trying.
What do you think she's thinking?
I think she feels it in her bones that she wants to be with this guy. And so she's doing everything in her mind to push him away. So I think a generous interpretation of Belly is that mentally she's trying to keep Conrad at a distance. I think she's calling him brother-in-law, bringing up Jer, trying to say things that keep them like very platonic, very just like not a thing. But then physically, she just is so attracted to him and attracts him. And do you think she knows what she's doing? Like, she is pulling this guy in sometimes.
I don't think she knows what she's doing. I think she just can't help herself. I think these two people are just pulled together and that she's trying to fight it. And I feel like she feels like she can fight it less because Jer's not around. But I don't think she's like intentionally doing it. I just think it's like her body reacting. I don't know, her face reacting.
She never stopped being that girl that forgot she turned pretty over the summer and is like, oh, are the boys giving me attention? Like, and she is just, she's working it with Conrad, and this poor guy needs to take a cold shower.
He has been taking a lot of showers. He is always running off to that shower.
Oh, yeah. He's on the roof or in the shower. One of those two places.
Oh, my God.
This
He's
guy's
always running away.
Losing it. This guy is losing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
if one thing is POV taught me, it's this man is losing it.
if he sees her eat one more peach, he's driving back to California. He's just, I can't take this.
When he had to see then her and Jer like all over each other and Jer really touching her, and he was like, I'd rather have a nail gun to my head than watch him touch her like this all night.
I couldn't decide what to make of
one.
that. I really didn't like it as a viewer. Seeing
It felt
the
like it
intimate
was
day
on purpose.
It felt that way because the intimate days she had with Conrad, like, to not like slow play it a little bit and let him like go to bed before you're like all over Jer is just, it didn't feel great. Like, she's sitting in his lap immediately, just right in front of Conrad. I don't know. But again, I guess mentally, that's what I'm saying is she's like, no, I'm marrying Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And like, this guy is just, you know, we had a thing when we were kids, but now he's just going to be my brother-in-law, and like we can be friendly with each other. But like,
well, yeah, I
it's
truly
just like,
don't.
But
think...
you're lying to yourself. Like, you're telling me you didn't feel something at that peach farm. Like, but she did immediately when she realized what was happening. She brought up Jeremiah, which immediately pulled him down.
Well, that's what she does. She immediately brings up Jeremiah in those situations because I think in her mind, she's like, oh, I'm the one that's taking this too far and being weird. I need to remember that he doesn't like me. I think she still is so clueless of Conrad's feelings for her. Like, she's not getting it at all because she won't even view him that way. Like, she is protecting her heart that for years she's been doing this with him. Since she was a kid, she's been protecting her heart against Conrad.
Yeah.
And his rejection of her. So she's like, he told me he's not into me. I can't even fathom him liking me.
It's a fair thing is that like she's so convinced herself he doesn't like her. She doesn't realize that if she would be with him, he would be with her now. Like she doesn't quite grasp that, but it does feel like she enjoys there still being a spark there that she's not acting on. I don't know.
I do think it's hard to turn that off, I will say. Of this person that you've been like in love with your whole life and view them like he hung the moon. It's hard to turn that off, even if you're dating their brother.
Yeah.
I think she should try a little harder, but I mean, especially in these moments.
A little harder. Yeah. I mean, there is just like the way she asks him to like, I knew this car situation was going to be a problem. I brought that up last week.
You did.
As I said,
you were
what's
right.
the car situation now? I was like, this makes no sense. She's not going to be able to get around. And so her like, can you drive me and stuff like that? Like the tough part about that is like you dated someone, so you know how to like talk to them. And it's like, you're working him a little bit here. And it's like, I just feel like in your situation, maybe just don't ask him to do anything. Like, don't be alone with him like that. Like,
right.
You're asking him to do stuff, basically, and it's just weird.
But that's what she always does with him. So she's like falling back into that pattern while they're alone there together and while Jer's not there.
I get it. Her whole life, Conrad has volunteered to help her with things.
Right.
But that's because, like, it's because he likes you. And, like, you were kind of manipulating him a little bit right now by doing stuff with him and even agreeing. I know he was volunteering there, but, like, just nip that in the bud. Like, this is weird. You were, like, dating this guy for a while, and you're marrying his brother. Don't make him go around wedding shopping with you.
But in her mind, he doesn't care. This is not affecting him in any way, shape, or form.
What are you talking about? He doesn't have emotions? Like, even if you dated someone
that's
at all,
what she thinks.
who would want to help anyone who was their ex shop for their wedding? Like, who would want to do that with anyone, no matter the situation? Much less, she's marrying your brother. Like, he does not need to be doing this. And I think it's a little manipulative for her to be doing this with him.
I agree, but I don't think it's that she's aware of the manipulation. She thinks that Conrad does not care about her in that way at all. So she's like, he's unfazed by this.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. She was essentially eating those peaches. I've never seen anyone eat a peach like that.
I need to get her POV on that scene too, though. Like,
I was also like, isn't this guy allergic? Maybe back up.
Well, that's something else we learned in this episode, that he's allergic to peaches and only cooks grilled chicken.
Yeah, when you said you were doing a top 5 on Conrad, I pitched you 3 that did not make the list, which was he's allergic. I don't know why. My suggestions were he's allergic to peaches. We learned that. We learned he eats grilled chicken for every meal. This old man. I love this guy. I love this guy. And he knows absolutely nothing about flowers, which I can relate.
Wow, you have really turned to love Connie Baby after this episode, I feel like.
I think he's grown up this season. I like him better this
100%.
season. And I thought him and Belly together, I still think they felt like they have a more mature relationship than what her and Jeremiah do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you think about the scene of Conrad and Belly at the peach farm, how, like, mature and adult and romantic and sensual that seemed versus the scene that you could compare that most to for her and Jeremiah in this episode is them dancing on the pier, kind of like kids. Like, there's something a little immature about the relationship. And don't get me wrong, I liked that scene. I thought that was fun. I think I suggested that song at our wedding, too. It's a Chuck Berry song. Because what they're doing is they're doing Pulp Fiction. They're doing, like, the dance moves they're doing are the dance moves that Uma Thurman and John Travolta do in Pulp Fiction. And then the song is about, young people getting married and the old people are like, you never can tell.
I did clock in that scene that the dancing is the opposite of the dancing she would ever do with Conrad.
Yes. And I think it's purposeful. They're showing this is like still, even though these two are getting married, it's a little bit like young love still with these two. Nothing wrong with that.
So
and that can certainly grow into a more adult like marriage and relationship. But it just feels like they have not developed that yet in their relationship. They're still a little silly and goofy and just like not quite to like not that goes away, but you add another piece to your relationship of being like a more adult two people like partnership thing that they're not quite there for people who are getting married.
Saw even just the way like Belly and Conrad, like what they talk about. They talk about the future. They talk about therapy and like mental health and struggles and we haven't really gotten many scenes of Belly and Jeremiah really talking about that deep of stuff.
Well,
like I feel like when Belly was trying to talk when Belly was trying to talk to him at one point about his like, oh, do you want to talk about that you're not graduating? He was like, I just want you to hold me. Like it just, I think that they really purposely showed us Belly and Conrad doing all this grown-up stuff together that we have not seen a lick of with Belly and Jeremiah.
Yeah. Well, I think this episode was also hitting home that Belly is immature because, like, she brings up to Conrad she's never left home. Like, she's always kind of been around. And, she even clearly was longing for, like, her dreams of going to Paris that aren't going to happen anymore. Like, it just is like she does need to do a little growing up and a little bit of living life.
Well, she needs to go to Paris. That's what she needs to do. She can grow up when she goes to Paris. I'm still holding out hope for Paris.
Yeah.
And also, just one other thing about Belly. I really hope she gets one thing that she wants for this wedding. Like, I don't want this wedding to happen for a lot of reasons, but can the girl get one thing that she wants? And what does she even want? This also goes to show kind of like how immature she is. She doesn't have many answers to what she wants for the wedding.
I mean, Jeremiah, the one thing he wants is that stupid cake. But what's her one thing? I don't really know. I don't know. I thought it was the beach house.
And now we're not getting that.
He was like, nah, we're not doing that. So I don't know.
He's like, well, we got to invite clients. It's like, you are an intern at this company.
Wacky. Yeah. I'm sure Adam Fisher's clients are going to be a real ball to have around.
I love that we're getting some like industry vibes in this season of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I love it. Which, okay, that brings me to Denise.
Sure.
I want to talk about Denise for 1 second.
Tough beat for Taylor in this episode that she was going to Cousins Beach and then like she's just, I feel so bad with her mom in the salon that she just has to keep fixing her mom's problems.
And like, I want to see Taylor have some fun.
I know.
She's a fun girl. She's young. Like, I want to see her like let loose a little bit this season. I mean, she was in this episode less than Denise was. I feel like something more is going to happen with Denise because she has been consistently in every episode more than any other guest star, I feel like. Sometimes I feel like even more than Taylor. And I'm just curious what's going to happen there. It feels like we're setting her up for more in this season.
I mean, her and Steven are going to hook up in New York.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I wonder, like, are they going to end up together? I don't know. I feel like we're not done with Steven and Taylor, though. I feel like there's more there for sure.
I know, and she hated her when she saw her and called her Chevroy. So, like, that's going to be... Maybe it's all just going to blow up at the wedding. Maybe all these people are coming together because Adam Fisher's going to be inviting everyone at the firm there. So it's like...
Denise is going to get an invite.
Yeah, Denise is going to be there. It's gonna be a weird wedding. Again, I hope it at least goes around to some of these clients of like, so the best man slept with the bride. And it's like what's going on with all these people?
I know.
But they also all grew up together. Don't ask.
I know. All right, let's get to your Tyler's takes.
All right. Let's see what I had in my notes app when I watched it by myself without you today. Very sad. Are you going to
Very
do what
sad.
Conrad did and go see the ocean? He said it's different looking west and seeing
I
the
did
water.
think that when I was on that flight. I was like, well, should I go see this such different sunset?
Yeah, it's very different. And
Have a Connie
I thought
Baby
that was
summer.
interesting hearing about how he's kind of alone like that and finding himself. I think it just reiterated how he grew up. Like going to a new place, not knowing anyone, figuring it out. Like,
Yeah.
and it does feel like more of these characters need to experience a little bit of that in their lives. Steven said he would have supported Taylor having an OnlyFans. I was like, wow, what a good dude.
That was a funny scene.
That was so
good. I was
funny.
like, those two are funny together. Let's get them back together.
I loved her being in it, and I want more of her in it because I loved her pushing Belly on the Conrad thing. Because, like, I would think your best friend's not really going to believe you, that you're completely over someone, even if it has been 4 years. I'm like, no, you talk to me about this guy every day your whole life until 4 years ago. So, like, I'm not convinced you just staying at a beach house with him, everything's okay.
I mean, this is like her childhood dream, I feel like.
Belly brought up the volleyball injury again, and it reminded me of that whole one decision can change your whole life. It's basically now like it's affected what she's majoring in, and it's just like, it just really made me think again, don't make a bad decision right now by marrying Jeremiah that's going to affect your whole life, Belly.
I feel like, though, that could be said for Conrad, too, of one decision affects your whole life. When he turned down Belly and said he didn't have feelings for her. That changed all their lives.
Definitely. This is the episode that got me to follow the Summer I Turned Pretty playlist on Spotify.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
it
oh,
is a
these
good
are
playlist.
bangers.
It's good. And they add the songs right away.
Yeah. I wrote down, last time I saw them shopping was Party City, and now they're shopping at Michael's. And I was like, that's growing up. I liked when Conrad was pretending to be uncaring. Like, no, I'm just a guy who doesn't care what you get. Like, how long's this going to take? He said, like he's
I
trying
know.
to do that. And I was like, he really couldn't even keep up appearances for 5 seconds of doing that. And then he's like, no, I'm sorry, Belly. I'm your simp.
It's like, Conrad, you're having the best day of your life. We all know it, okay? Just stay at Michael's with her and help her pick out these fake flowers.
I thought the fireworks at the end were cool, clearly referring to Jeremiah. I feel like this is like the culmination of what Jeremiah started back when he shot that firework off there. Of like, now Conrad has been like, is up in his room while he's down there dancing with Belly on the water to the fireworks. And it just felt like a real victory lap for Jeremiah and what he's been trying to
Yeah.
achieve this whole show.
I mean, that was the turning point. When he shot off that firework is when you really saw, oh, he has feelings for Belly and he is willing to fight for her. One other thing about the fireworks and it being 4th of July, I thought it was so sad that they weren't doing anything special for the 4th of July. That was like depressing to me. Susanna's favorite holiday, and it's just like nothing big is going on. That was sad.
Well, Jeremiah wasn't there. I guess they would have if everyone
I just thought
had
it was
come.
sad. But it didn't seem like they were ready to like grill hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah. I was
Like
like
Taylor was coming to help Belly with the shopping. Like it wasn't a party thing.
yeah.
I thought that was sad.
I wanted to tell Belly to relax about the coupons. I was like, girl, there are going to be more sales. They'll come back around. Like, Google it. There's got to be a promo code. Like,
Michael's
you're
was going
freaking
out of
out.
business.
You're freaking out about these 25% off coupons. You need to chill.
I was like, are coupons still a thing? Like,
was-
do you print them out?
I was like, Conrad, you might want to think red flag here if you're with Coupon Girl. Coupon Girl Belly. And the last thing I had was Belly was really making some eyes at Conrad when she had that wine. And
Oh, yeah.
I just don't think there's any world where, like, it didn't cross her mind. She was looking at him. She brought up the flowers of, like, you know where those flowers are from. Like, she was going down a road. If Jeremiah didn't come there that night, I don't know what would have happened. They'd have had another bottle of wine, and we would have seen what would have happened.
When we saw what the flowers meant, I was like, I cannot believe she brought this up.
No, that's
but
crazy.
I feel like that wine was making her loose. And I feel like, though, she is maybe a little frustrated that, like, it's never talked about. I mean, I would be like, oh, we have to pretend like we didn't date before. Mm-hmm. So I feel like maybe, too, she's just like, I'm going to say it. We hooked up in the guest bedroom.
Yeah. Holy cow. I was like, Conrad, you probably should have split a bottle of wine before the night Jeremiah was coming in.
All
Bad
it
time
takes
to
is
make
a
your
couple
move.
glasses of wine. Yeah. I actually
just
really like that scene, though, because I did feel like it was very realistic of her getting a little looser, giving him flirty eyes and whatnot.
She was giving him
after
eyes.
some wine. She was giving him eyes. And
what is this
if
girl
Jared
doing?
didn't walk in, what
Man.
might have happened?
This girl, I don't know, Belly, sometimes.
I know. So, she goes for it. She
like-
goes for it. You
I
can't
liked her.
say
I
she
would.
doesn't.
I know. I mean, but I do like her more, like with Conrad now. Like I'm not talking like shipping. I'm saying like just as a person, I feel like I like who she is more when she was
Yeah.
hanging out with him, because it's to your point. It felt like more real convos and more like talking about like meaning in their lives. It's, I don't know, just deeper convos. Sometimes it felt like.
Yeah, it definitely brings out like a more honest side to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we learn the most when they're in a scene together. And not just of like that they're into each other, but just about each character.
Yeah.
We're not like learning that much about Belly otherwise.
Yeah. Well, great episode. I loved it. It's
Best
called
episode of the season.
It was called The Last Dance.
Okay,
And they
did you
dance
see
at
what
the
Jenny
end.
Hahn
What do you think that
posted,
meant?
though?
No, what did Jenny Hahn?
Oh my God. I know.
No,
I meant to send this to you
didn't
and I
see.
forgot.
I did not see.
She posted what Last Dance meant. Like a Wikipedia screenshot. Okay, I'm pulling it up.
Yeah. I guess she wasn't referencing Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
So she posted what? No. She posted what Last Dance like means. Its meaning. And it's kind of like Wiktionary. So it's like this.
Okay.
And it says, Last Dance, a last run suggesting a sense of nostalgia, a final romantic date or time together. And then the last game or tournament in which a team, it's a sports reference. Yeah. But like, what does that mean?
I think.
Was that Conrad and Belly's last run? Or
I
was
think
that...
you could take it either way. I think the obvious interpretation would be it's about Conrad remembering their last dance together. Like their last great time was that like sex scene.
Yeah.
And like before he blew things up at prom. And so him remembering the last dance. But she does literally dance with Jeremiah. So you're like, is this the last time these two dance together?
I definitely feel like we're on a downfall for them right now. I think it could be viewed both ways. I think it could even be both meanings.
I don't know. Look, I'm not here to bash anyone who's Team Jeremiah, but I don't know how you can defend that cacao.
The cacao.
The cacao
We're
and the
never
mirror
gonna forget the
glaze
cacao.
was
But you know what?
insanity to me. I was like, this guy is driving me crazy.
I appreciate the mirror
This guy
glaze
used to be
memes
fun.
we're gonna get. Yeah. I do appreciate the mirror glaze memes we're going to get. I feel like, though, too, when he said that line about the mirror glaze and the cacao, he said it like Adam. He spoke it like how Adam speaks.
Oh, I think he's so clearly becoming Adam in this. I mean, he's already got the cheating out of the way. He's just got to get the money.
Oh, my God.
He'll be there soon.
Oh, my God. You're right.
He's so, I mean.
Somebody needs to save Jeremiah, though.
Oh my God.
Like somebody needs to interfere and save him. Okay.
No, this was like whenever Adam like was like, you did a good job. And like now he's like bringing him under his wing of like, he's going to pay for the wedding and control him. I was like, this is the Emperor getting hold of Darth Vader. This is the whole this is like the villain turn of like, let me show you the ways of the dark side.
Wow.
Don't you think?
There really are a lot of Star Wars references in this. We love comparing this show.
And she's
to
Princess Leia between
anything
Han
else.
Solo and Luke Skywalker here.
You're not wrong. You're
No.
not wrong. I can see it.
Yeah, maybe we'll
All
do a
right,
whole podcast on
we're-
Star Wars. Yeah, if you
No,
want to go
we're-
another
you're
hour
losing
on
us. You're
Star
losing
Wars
listeners.
and The Summer I Turned Pretty, let me know.
You're losing listeners with this. We gotta wrap up. We're bringing up Star Wars. It's time to go. Is there
Good
anything
app.
else you wanted to talk
I
about?
mean, great app, incredible
Great app.
music. I loved it all. I mean,
Worth the wait.
It had the Rolling Stones and Van Morrison, who are two of my favorite artists of all time. Two Otis Redding songs, a Fleetwood Mac song, and a Pulp Fiction parody. Was this episode made for me? Maybe, and thank you.
They've been listening.
I appreciate it, Jenny.
Soon you're going to get a full Star Wars reference now.
Yeah, if you could sneak some Star Wars in the end of this, I'd appreciate it.
Wow, you've really gotten cocky now with this show. It's your favorite show now.
I loved this app. It was fun.
It was a great app. Great app, worth the wait. I can't wait for more now. I feel like that was a really big turning point. So I'm wondering where we'll go from here. And I do feel like that was a lot of the book of what we went through in this app. So we'll see where we go.
We'll see where we go.
I'm ready. Buckle up, everybody. I feel like it's really going to be a bumpy ride from here on out.
Have fun
I'm
in
ready.
California, babe. We'll
All
run
right,
some errands
reporting
when you're
live
back in
from
New
LA.
York.
Yeah, take me to Michael's when we get
Yeah.
back.
Don't stop at any peach farms while you're out there. Stay away.
I can't make any promises. Now, every time I drive by a peach farm, I'm going to have to stop.
Be like, whoa.
Yeah, definitely. We have a new Call Me By Your Name.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the ep as much as we did. Feel free to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at previously_on_teen TV. We're going to be doing some new shows soon, so be sure to follow along. Thanks for listening.
Bye.